Hi everyone, it's Shamila Ramjawan from the Red Corner Chat. This evening I have the pleasure of talking to Dr. Delene Musielak, who is currently and living in the USA. Dr. Delene is an MD, FACP, FAAP, a dual-boarded internist and pediatrician. She's going to explain all those acronyms to us because I really don't know what they mean. Good evening, Dr. Delene.
Hello, everybody. Such a pleasure to be on. Thank you so much.
So do you maybe want to take us through MD? Okay, I know medical doctor, FACP, FAAP.
Yes. So once you finish your training in medical school, you decide what kind of doctor you want to be, and then you go through what we call residency. So I chose a combined residency of internal medicine and pediatrics. And once you become board certified, you can become what's called a fellow, which is just a distinction that, people know that you're a boarded physician. And that's what, so FACP stands for Fellow of the American College of Physicians. So that's for the medicine part. And the FAAP stands for Fellow of the American Academy of Pediatrics. So it really just proves that you're boarded, so people know that you're boarded. And again, you're just distinguished from others who aren't.
Wonderful. Well, at least now I know. I've just learned something new. Dr. Delene, do you maybe want to just take us through your background? We just want to get to know you better.
Yes, of course. So I was originally born in Guyana, South America, and my parents are both pastors, and I have one sister. She's older than I am, and my parents migrated to the United States essentially for us to get a better education. So I was 7 when my parents migrated. And initially we lived in the South, and then we slowly moved up to the Northeast. So my parents are currently in New York, and my sister is also there with them. And since I was younger, I just always enjoyed helping people, and especially my grandmother. She lived with us after we moved.
That's wonderful. So why medicine? What was the motivation behind choosing such a profession?
I think it's hard to find professions where you're truly helping people. You look at, I think every profession you're kind of helping people, but I think there's a relationship. Like what I found, we recently moved from Georgia to Missouri, and moving practices, it's so hard because you build a relationship with your patients, and it's almost like a family. They come in, their whole family, their history, you build that trust. And I think it does take some time, especially now, to build trust with a physician. And I believe it's just a very special relationship to have when you have a good relationship with your doctor, that you can sit down and feel comfortable to ask questions. And part of why I did primary care, internal medicine and pediatrics, is because I get to take care of the whole gamut. I get to take care of both adults and kids, and I'm not boxed into one specialty. I really just enjoy seeing everything and kind of investigating what's going on and just being at the forefront of that.
Awesome. So talking about family and your patients becoming family, do you maybe want to take me through your own family?
Yes. So I am currently married. My husband, we met in medical school, and he is a surgeon, and God blessed us with triplets. God thought that we were responsible enough to have triplets, which was a surprise. Ironically enough, we were praying for twins because we decided to wait until after we were all done with our training, and we were just praying for twins because twins runs on both sides. And they, on the ultrasound, they said, hey, the doctor's exact words were, there's a third one hiding behind here. And that's how we found out we were having triplets. So they are now 4 years old. we have 2 boys and a little girl who's the princess, of course, and their names are Luke, Ethan, and Alina. And my husband would love to have another girl, but I don't know. I think Alina, she likes being the only girl, so I'm not sure if she'll like another girl in the house.
But you never know, you might be blessed with 3 more girls.
That's right. And my mom is concerned about that. My mom's always like, what if you have 3 or 4? I don't know, but whatever God thinks is, we're capable of.
Absolutely. Dr. D, what is the biggest challenge that you face being a female physician?
I feel one of the biggest challenges is, even though women have come a long way as far as rights and equality, I still feel it takes a lot more to gain that respect, especially being married to another physician who, of course, is male. What I've experienced is, even when we work together, people will call him Dr. Musielak and all of a sudden start calling me by my first name, just, Delene. And, in my mind, I'm not a title person, but I'm always kind of like, well, how come you don't call him Matthew and me Dr. Musielak? And I think also another thing is, sometimes you sit on committees, and most of the committees are headed by older men, that it's kind of been the routine that's been going on. So I still think there are some barriers with women, and of course we get called nurses, even though you introduce yourself as a doctor. A lot of times people just have a tendency to say, oh, the nurse is in the room. So I think there's still some hurdles to jump over, but I believe now the ratio of women to men in medical school, women have surpassed males in medical school now. So there's definitely going to be more female physicians out there in the next few years, which is a great thing, because I don't know, there's something about the nurturing heart of a woman that I feel makes them special physicians. And ironically, a lot of my adult patients are males, and I've heard more than one patient tell me that I switched my doctor from a male to a female because I feel female physicians listen more than a male. And that's not to say that male physicians don't listen. I just feel there's an extra nurturing attribute to women that, we're moms. I think we're innately motherly, and we only don't show that to our kids. We also show that to other people.
Absolutely. So tell me about Dr. Mom Show. That is very interesting. We're talking about moms, we're talking about nurturing. Take me through that.
Yes. So after I had my babies, about a year after, one, a lot of people are under the assumption, oh, if you're a doctor, especially a pediatrician, it must be easy peasy to, be a mom. But to tell you the truth, it's not, because one, the more you're like in a nervous wreck, because you're like, is this really going on? Because you like go to the ultimate extreme of what's happening. And then 2, it's just something when it's your own child that all your training just kind of goes out the door. You're like, I have no clue what to do. And that's a known fact, because they encourage physicians not to operate on family members, because just emotions can play a role as you serve your patients. So that is a known fact. But the Dr. Mom Show came about because, one, I just found a lot of parents asking questions about babies and their newborns, where it was really just reassurance. And that's a good thing, that most kids are healthy, which is fantastic. So most of the times parents just need reassurance and a reminder that they're doing a great job. And then after I had my babies, I just had personal things that I'm like, hey, I didn't learn this in medical school, but I learned it as a mom, that I just thought it would be helpful to share with other parents. So that's how I started the Dr. Mom Show, to just share medical information. It's just a resource regarding just evidence-based medicine, but also my personal experiences.
That is very interesting. So to everyone watching this, please follow Dr. Mom Show on Facebook, and you can pick up some hints. It's for women that haven't had kids women that have kids at the moment, or anybody, just as a matter of interest. I think it's just amazing because I've been following your page now for a few weeks and I just love the content. I just wish I had more time to read, but I'm going to get there at some point. But it's really, really interesting.
Yeah, yes. So you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Dr. Mom Show, and then I usually do it live, also stream it live on Facebook under the Dr. Mom Show. And I'm super excited because Tuesday, the Dr. Mom Show podcast is launching. So I'm so excited about that opportunity to get the word out there even further.
That is wonderful. So are you going to actually upload the podcast onto the Dr. Mom Show on YouTube and Facebook as well?
So it's currently on YouTube, my videos, but the podcast, you'll be able to find the link to the audio on my website.
Okay, that's interesting. So Dr. D, an author of 3 books, I'm still trying to figure out how you find the time or where you find the time to do all of this, because you're a motivational speaker, you do personal development, coaching, an entrepreneur, you're a mother of triplets, you're a wife, you're a doctor. So tell me about the books that you wrote.
Yes, so after I had the babies, I just went through this time of, I think all moms, you kind of go through this time of like loneliness, you know, I mean, it's hard. You're there. I remember my husband, he stayed home for about a week and helped. And then our families took turns. Everybody came for about a week. And then at that point, I didn't want anybody else to come to the house. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want anybody else to visit. That's it. Because you know how moms are. They tell you how to do everything because they know the right way.
Yes.
So, but it was tough because I breastfed. So by the time you feed them, you pump, it's time for them to nap. And then all of a sudden you're just doing it all over again. So my first book, which is called MOM, M-O-M, that stands for Meditate, Overcome, Motivate. It's a 30-day devotional journal that I just wanted to encourage mothers to remind them of who we are. And each day just has an affirmation that you are beautiful, you are strong, you are favored, you are blessed. You're special, just to remind us, because I feel we're really good about putting our aspirations and things that we want to do in the back burner, especially after you have kids, because of course your kids come first, your family always comes first. And I just wrote it to encourage women to remember who you are, because I feel we ourselves hold ourselves at super high expectations. It's not other people, it's just us. That we're like, oh, I have to do this. I have to breastfeed for a year. I have to make sure like I have it together all the time, because believe me, I don't have it together all the time. Sometimes my hair is just up in a clip looking crazy. So don't think I have it together all the time. But that's how the Mom Devotional came about. And then I did a children's book, which I love a lot. That became an international bestseller called The Tripsies and Me. And that's just a fun autobiography about the first year of the triplets. And I like it because when I wrote it, I rhymed it. So that's just a fun book. And I think that was more leaving a legacy, a token of my first year to share with the world, but to also have it for them, that when they grow up, it's something recorded that, will never be lost. And then the other book I wrote after that was a book collaboration, Women of War, Peace in the Midst of the Storm, that just got published in June of this year. And that was where 14 authors, female authors, came together. And especially now with the pandemic, we just thought it was a really good time to encourage people and let them know, no matter what storm, what mountain you're trying to climb, that you will get over it, you will overcome. And it may not be the end result that we want. Things don't always work out the way that we foresee them, but you will get through it. And I love it because each individual has such a different story that I know everybody out there can relate to at least one story in the book. And I always say the 13 other stories are just a bonus because you learn from other people's experiences.
I like that. And this is why I'm actually having this chat show, because we learn from each other and you are going to inspire so many other people out there. So, just your books, where can one get hold of copies of your books?
Yes, so you can either go on my website, drdelenemusielak.com, or on Amazon if you just search them on Amazon. But if you're looking for the titles and things like that, if you just go on my website, you'll see it. And then, of course, on Facebook, if you search my page on Facebook, you'll see all the books that I've published.
Wonderful. I'm definitely going to get copies of your books. So, Dr. D, you recently started a publishing company. Do you maybe want to just elaborate on that?
Yes, so this is just, it's insane how God works. And again, it's just his timing. So after the most recent collaboration got published, my sister also published a collaboration at the same time. And we've always talked about doing something like starting a publishing company just to help people have a platform to tell their story. And that was, you know, another reason I did the collaboration, because I believe there was only one author in Women of War, Peace in the Midst of the Storm, who had not written anything. So these were all first-time authors, because I'm a firm believer everybody has a story to tell. A lot of people don't think they're significant or their story is significant, but you do not know whose life you'll change, impact, or inspire by just telling your story. So we really just wanted to have that platform out there. And after publishing those collaborations recently, God just opened up an opportunity. Somebody came to us and asked us, said, hey, we see that you guys have published books, and your most recent books, would you like me to coach you on how to do this? And we were like, yes. So we recently started that. We have some fun projects going on. We have one author, he's doing a book about memoirs of his life, which he's had a real, I mean, reading his book, I'm like, I don't think I would have survived his life. That's why God didn't give me his life. We have another author, she's working on a collaboration with some women. We have a young lady doing a fictional book. And then we have my sister's daughter, she's writing her first book about just bullying and being kind as a child. So we have some really good stuff. And then we have some fun collaborations in the pipelines, that just things to encourage, especially during these times. So it's been really fun. You know, don't get me wrong, it's a lot of hard work. None of this is coming easy at all. But it's something that I'm passionate about, and I just feel very blessed to have the opportunity to do it.
Well
and
done.
If you're interested in publishing a book, definitely feel free to reach out to us. The company is Alea Publishing, ALEA Publishing LLC. So if you just go to aleapublishingllc.com, you can find out more information, and we can set up a call to talk about your project and see if it's a good fit.
Wonderful. We'll actually consider that. I'm also planning to actually write my second book next year, which I'm going to publish.
Oh, I love it.
So yes, I also have a book on Amazon.
Nice. See, I'm gonna have to buy your book.
So I'm also collaborating with Dr. Larita with my pink stilettos. You know about that?
Yes. Fun.
Yes, so I'm also involved in that project. So hopefully that's going to pan out very well. Dr. D, what do you think or feel are your major accomplishments?
I would probably say my first major accomplishments are my triplets. I know some people will probably look at me weird and say, you know, you're a doctor and dual boarded, but my babies, I mean, it's such a blessing. We made it to term, what's considered term for a triplet pregnancy. We made it almost to 37 weeks. It was a scheduled C-section. Everybody did great. Everybody went home together. When we left the hospital, the nurses said, you are the first triplet family that all the babies are going home with the mom. So I just consider it such a blessing. I didn't have any complications at all. The doctor thought I was going to go early, about 6 weeks early, and I told him, no, I am not. I am making it until my scheduled date. So I consider that a huge accomplishment. And then just everything falls behind that. Everything else I've done, but they're definitely number one for my accomplishments.
So how did you, I'm just curious to know, how did you manage? People struggle just managing one baby, but you've had three. So how did you manage it? How do you juggle? Just tell me, when one starts crying, do the other two also join in? How does it work?
Well, I will say one of my biggest advice tips about parenting is to keep your kids on a routine, especially if you have multiples. So from the time they were born, we kept their feeding time the same, their nap time the same, even up to now. So they've grown up with that routine. But I will say they're really good kids. I can't complain. Of course, now and again they act up like any child, but they're pretty good. Of course, now they fight a little more and they threaten each other that they're not best friends. They're not going to be their best friends anymore. But I guess all kids do that. But I think the key is just having that routine. I will say baby girl was the most laid back. So she doesn't know this right now, but when it came to feeding, she would be the last one that I would feed. I would like breastfeed the boys first, because if they were hungry, they would cry right away. Whereas baby girl, even up to now, she's more patient. If we're a little behind on eating, I'll definitely get the food for the boys first. And if you ask her, hey baby girl, can you wait? I mean, she's a sweetheart and super patient. I say she's our saving grace. God gave us her because she's for sure our saving grace. We'll see what happens when she becomes a teenager, though, because everybody says that once girls become older, they're harder to handle, and then the boys become easy to handle. So we'll see what happens.
I don't know. I think it just depends on personalities.
I agree.
So your triplets are now 4. If you had to go back 5 years, what would you tell yourself?
I think one of the biggest things I would tell myself is to learn more business. I feel what's been hard is, of course, I've always loved medicine and I've been focused on medicine. And now with doing these other things like writing, being an entrepreneur, things like that, you don't always know. It's kind of like you learn as you go when it comes to the business aspects. So I wish there was a little bit of business mixed in there. Would probably be my biggest thing that I would tell myself.
What advice would you give women listening to this in terms of starting a business or just trying out something new?
So I totally encourage you that if you have something written down, a vision, a dream, a goal of doing something different, to get out there and do it. We're all gonna fail. I mean, I'm not being a negative Nancy. Nothing's perfect. And I think a lot of times we put this, again, expectation on ourselves that, oh, I can't do it. And I'm guilty of this too, that I can't do this yet because I don't have it perfect. I still have to do X, Y, Z. And then you just keep procrastinating and putting it off because you want it to be exact. But you have to remember, you're taking away from all the people you could be impacting the longer you're taking to get your business or your project out there. So I encourage you that don't wait until things are perfect, because it will never be perfect. It's like having kids. People are like, oh, well, after I do this, after I finish school, but something always comes up. So the same thing with your goals and dreams. Just go ahead, shoot for the moon, because then you'll land among the stars, is what they say. And all you can do is try. And if it doesn't work out, don't be discouraged, because at least when you look back, you can say, hey, I did try that and it just didn't work. And I think trying and failing also helps us, because it helps us learn. Don't think that I've done this and I've been like successful at everything I've done. I haven't. It's just been a learning process, and I've made multiple mistakes on the way, or like how I wished I knew more business. There's a lot of times you don't have all the tools you need, which is another reason. Another tip I will give you is surround yourself around women or even men, whoever, who have been through what you want to do, because I am a total believer in that there is not a reason to reinvent the wheel if it's already been invented. Because, you know, if I have somebody who's done a podcast, and why should I struggle instead, oh, we're going to have a visitor here. Why should I struggle instead of saying, hey, you know, Michelle or whoever it may be, can you help me out? I'm starting my podcast. So I think one big thing is don't be proud to ask people, because, oh, we have a visitor. Hello.
Hello.
You want to say hi?
Hi.
Say hello.
Hi.
This is, who are you? This is baby Luke. He's the oldest.
Hello, baby
Hi.
Luke.
Hi, Miss Shamila.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Good, thank you.
He's cute.
Thank you. So yes, so surround yourself with people who've already done it. And, you know, I love this show because I think it's so great when people collaborate, because you're not only building up somebody else, but you're helping to build yourself, because, you know, like, we've connected now, and, you know, I'm going to promote this show, you know, so this gives you a whole other network. So instead of being selfish and say, oh, I'm going to keep everything I know to myself, I foresee it that, you know, my success, like if I help somebody else, that person's success is my success, because you know what? They'll say, you know, Dr. D helped me with this. And, you know, I think that's something that's so good. So I think collaboration is great too.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely a snowball effect. And, you know, they say a successful CEO reads about 60 books a year. And just going back to what you said about reinventing the wheel, and the reason why they do that is they actually read so that they can see if others experienced something that they are looking forward to or want to do. And, you know, that just actually culminates everything, and they don't have to go that far to actually find a solution. So that was very interesting. I like that advice. So what can we expect from Dr. D in the future?
Well, a lot of things are happening. Like I said, this week on Tuesday, the Dr. Mom Show podcast will be launching, so definitely check that out. And then towards the end of this year, I will be getting out a Mommy and Me devotional, which I am super excited about. And then I am also working on hopefully getting a collaboration. I would love to write about just being on the front lines during a pandemic, and just getting, you know, the experiences from nurses, doctors, just individuals who have been on the front line, because I don't believe people truly understand what, you know, we have gone through as far as mental health, physically, the strain, working extra hours, the stress of it. You know, there's just been a lot. So I think I think writing is fantastic. I think writing is a stress reliever, where it's also a tool where these people who have been in the front lines, again, can just tell their story.
That would be very interesting. So Dr. D, in terms of the front line, have you been affected at all?
Yes, so I have seen positive cases. Thank goodness my husband and I have been safe during all of this. We've, you know, tried to take the best precautions to stay well, especially with the children. But yes, of course, there's been positive cases that I've seen, positive patients. And then, of course, Matt has operated. He's done surgery on patients who have been positive.
Okay, that's interesting. And the kids, do they go to a creche, you know, when you're at work?
So they're at school. Yes, they have continued to go to school. The schools have taken, well, they're in preschool now, but even in general, all the daycare schools have taken very extreme measures to, look at him over here. He's climbing up on the counter here. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Extreme measures to do a deep clean. every day and to limit the amount of kids in this. This is why people watch the Dr. Mom show. It's not because of me. They want to see them.
Yes, it's lovely. It's so real. I love it.
Yep, this is real life. Can't even go to the bathroom by yourself.
Don't you want to bring your brother and your sister so I can see all three of you?
Do you want to get Ethan and Alina?
Well, Ethan went outside to get 2 more things.
Oh, he's outside. Okay.
I'm gonna go to
Okay.
Very cute. So I just want to, I was going to say this at the outset. Happy birthday, because I know you celebrated your birthday on Women's Day.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, yes. Well, I celebrate birthday month, but even though it's coming to an end, I just think birthdays are something that are so special. And I do birthday month because I think it's just a great way to celebrate life and your life and making it another year, and just, especially during this time, staying healthy. Okay, I'll tell Daddy.
No, Daddy left with Ethan.
Okay, I'll be right there.
No, can we go now?
Tell her she can do it. I'm so sorry.
Do it
It's
now.
fine.
Go.
Yeah, so I mean, just to be thankful for everything that's happened. So it is a blessing to make it another year. Again, age is just a number, and I truly believe that as people get older, they look more beautiful. Like if you look at actresses and stuff, I feel people in their 40s and 50s, that's when they really look good. It's so funny. I feel, if you juxtapose pictures, yeah. Look at some of these people, and I'm like, oh my goodness, they look so beautiful. So
Yes, I'm also very big on birthdays. I love birthdays. I actually look forward to my birthday like 6 months before, and then I do the countdown. Some people think I'm crazy, but I just love birthdays. I think it's, like you said, it's celebrating life.
It is. That's right.
I'm going to tell Nina what's going to happen.
Dr. D, your final words?
Yes. So I just want to encourage everybody, whoever is out there, to, 1, do your best. 2, keep pushing on no matter what struggle you're going through, because you're going to make it. And then finally, be the exception. And like Dr. Mom always says, don't forget to wash your hands, kiss your kids. Okay, baby. Love your family and say your prayers good night.
Love it. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I wish you everything of the best in everything that you do. And I'm sure there's going to be lots more that I'm going to be seeing out there, following your pages. And yes, we definitely will be in touch.
Yes, thank you so much. It's been an honor to be on.
Thanks, and take care. Oh, there's your little princess.
Oh, there's Amina. Do you want to say hi? Isn't she so pretty? Look how beautiful she is. Come.
Thank you.
This is the girl.
Hi.
Hello, how are you? Oh, you have gorgeous kids. I'm sure they keep you very busy.
Have a good day.
Have a good day too.
All right, take care. Love you, everybody. Take care.
Take care. Love you lots. We'll chat soon. Bye.
Yes.
Mommy,